Hello, welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 263. It is the 16th of August, 2015. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Um, felt like I had something more important to say there, and it's just gone.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know what to tell you.
it's been a long week,
Has it?
and I've got an
It's been
early
a
start
week.
tomorrow. So,
That's good work. Okay,
so knitting. This is a knitting show.
it is. Every week it's a knitting show. Sometimes
Usually,
it's got other things, but
usually it's a
usually
knitting
it's a
show.
knitting show.
So knitting works in progress. Do you want to talk about what you've got?
Are you at the end of a row or?
I'm about to be. Would you like me to go first?
Yes,
Okay.
if you're at the end of the row.
So I finished a lot of stuff this week, which I'll talk about in a bit.
Ooh.
So I haven't spent a whole lot of time knitting. I've sort of been doing nothing. After I finished the last item for Stash Dash, I cast on a new project, and then I
I think
promptly,
there's this huge like after Stash Dash
yes,
cast on itis like that's been occurring, which I love.
yeah, I still have to go through all the Stash Dash threads and add a bunch of stuff to my queue. I haven't done that yet.
Nice.
So anyway, so what I decided I was going to cast on is the fourth Yowza shawlette, which is these are all patterns by Susan B. Anderson. Hashtag Susan B. Anderson forever. I decided I was going to knit out of Yowza in the Funny Papers color, which I got last SSK.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love this color because it absolutely reminds me of the comics that you get in the Sunday paper.
Yes.
So I cast on.
When there were newspapers.
Yeah, well,
Such a thing
when I
existed.
used to get newspapers, well, when my parents used to get newspapers. Um,
Have you watched that documentary, Dear Mr. Watterson, by the way?
no,
Which is about the creator of Calvin and Hobbes? You totally should.
no.
It's about Calvin and Hobbes. I love Calvin and Hobbes. I know I've mentioned it on before, but Funny Papers brought it back.
Yeah.
It's my forefront.
Well, I cast on using a 9. It calls for an 8. I almost always go up a needle size, and I figured that it's going to be a shawlette, so the drapier the better. It's not like it's going
Yeah.
to hurt anything.
It's the
So
worst weight.
it is a worsted weight, and you weigh the shawl, I want to say twice
You weigh
before.
the yarn?
Yeah, the cake.
Uh-huh.
Twice total, and then you don't have to count rows or anything. So
I would be weighing it like 8,000 times total.
I weighed it. It's supposed to be 8 ounces, and mine weighed 9, so I got a free ounce.
Cool.
So anyway, you cast on, it grows, it's asymmetrical, and then after you get to, I want to say there's like, once you have 70 grams or something close to that, there's a percentage in there, then you come back and you pick up and knit a ruffle. So, I
Oh,
think,
cool.
I don't
So
know, I
you
haven't read that
actually
far
pick
ahead.
up on the side?
I don't remember. I have to go back and look. I could be wrong. I could just,
You
um,
could do a ruffle maybe on that one side, like on your bind off, maybe it's a
it has
ruffle.
a ruffle across one edge of what would be the
Ooh.
triangle, so
I
you'll
might need
see.
to get that one. I did number one, and I think I have number two too, but I might have to get three and four.
Yeah. Well, Violet sent me 4 as a birthday gift, so I cast it on, and it's a good brainless knitting to knit while I'm reading um, terribly unsubstantial books sitting in bed.
It's the best kind of book.
My wrist has been bothering me this week, and I don't know why. I didn't do anything unusual to it, but like the muscle and bone right here, and then shooting pains down. So I've been wearing a brace
You
most of the
should
week.
get, yeah. Have you been icing it?
No. Anyway, that's all I'm knitting.
That's the only thing is that.
It's the only thing
All
I'm
right.
working on. There's still a couple
Okay.
things on the needles, but
So, look, I'm almost into the other row. Awesome. I cast on Line Break today. Line Break is a pattern by Vera
Valimaki.
Elamaki, and I'm that far in it. I'm using Volmiza Pure in the Elsa colorway that I got from the Loopy U. This is my Camp Loopy 3 project. It's so far along. Actually, this week I saw everyone finishing their Camp Loopy projects, and I was like, oh, I should get started.
You have till the end of the month, right?
I do. So, Camp Loopy is an event that's run by the Loopy U, and you can find all the details in Sherry's blog. But basically, you do 3 projects throughout the summer, one per month, and they get increasingly higher in yardage. And so this is the last one, so it's 800 yards, and I have 15 days to do it. So I need around 50 yards a day to
Why
get
did
it.
I know that you had already done the math?
That's not hard math. So 50 yards is around 10 grams. So I need 10 grams a day. I just got this started not too long ago. I have a little, it's garter, so I'm marking my front and back rows with a little safety pin style marker. It is in my Bags by Awesome Granny dancing horses bag, dancing Russian horses bag. Um, and this is what the cake looks like. So it's a solid. I have two of these, so I should have some leftover. I've been collecting Volmiza leftovers, I feel like. So I'll have to do something splendid with all of them because I have the pink and the gray from my last shawl for Camp Loopy. I managed to get Volmiza at 15% off for all my Camp Loopy projects this summer, which is part of the reason why I'm doing Camp Loopy because it's been a kind of chaotic summer this summer. Um, so, but I can't like Volmiza on sale. It has to be purchased.
You're as bad as those plucky people.
Don't be discriminating
I say that in a.
against people.
I don't mean to be rude and judgy. It's just how it's just it's not. It's cool to see the different like evolution of what becomes the absolute must own yarn.
I like the plucky people. I'm slowly becoming one of the plucky people, so I need to stop. Our friend Jessica, Show Me Your Knits, is very obsessive about the plucky, and so she'll text me when there's an update, and then I feel like I have to get it because it's one of those. It's kind of like Volmiza was, where you can't get it. It's gorgeous semi-solids primarily, but Volmiza I was more addicted to the crazy like all my Volmizas and like the bright color
Yeah.
ones. Those ones are always my favorite. But back to Camp Loopies. So I need to do around 50 yards a day. And I'm knitting this on size 6 needles. These are my signatures. I knit this shawl a couple years ago for Camp Loopy in a very similar color and gave it to Leslie.
Yep, it's blue. It was my original wedding shawl.
It was her original wedding shawl, and I loved it, so I'm going to do it again for me. I was going to do another shawl pattern, but it was by Hohi Loki.
Locatelli.
Yeah, again. What was that called? Oh, it was so pretty.
It was pretty. I don't remember what it was called, but it was really
Leslie
pretty.
gifted it to me because it was so pretty, and she wants me to make it so badly, and I am gonna make it. It is a lot of ribbing, and I don't want to do something that plus it's 950 yards and that does not get divided very easily. It's ley lines.
Yeah, there we go.
It's really really pretty, but again it calls for 950 yards and it does call for Volmiza pure 2 skeins. But I was a little bit worried about getting it done. It's really an interesting shaped shawl. It's got ribbing that moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just in the interest because this is and that's the sad thing about things that are like times, like you have a certain time frame to do them. Sometimes my creativity, I'm like, oh, I can do that fast.
Yeah, garter is a lot faster than ribbing.
Yes, and 800 yards is a lot faster than 950 yards. The Hohi shawl is 90 inches though from side to side and 34 inches deep. So I think that's going to happen at some point. Just not in a month. Just in a longer time frame, I think. So that's the first thing I'm knitting. That was a very long first thing, but I'm going to enjoy it, and that way that can be kind of my like brainless. Oh, I forgot a project. Oh well. The second thing on my needles are my Rainbow Love socks. These are Rose City rollers, and I finished the first one, so I could count because single socks counted for dash dash, so I could count a single sock. They did.
Okay.
Don't judge me. Am I sorry? My stash.
Who am I to disagree with the Empress?
They count. So because they could be for someone with one foot.
This is true.
But they're like almost a finished object by themselves. So whatever. They counted because I said so. So these are the Rose City rollers. They were Nova Platina DPNs in size 0. We discussed last week how I like to do DPNs for top down. socks that have the heel flap
And the
and
gusset.
gusset. So that's what I did for these. It's just it divides nicer in my brain with the gusset. And then this is Rainbow Love of Vesper. And Vesper is wholesaling now, so you can find her stuff in shops, which makes me super excited. Loop in Philadelphia is carrying it, so that's very, very cool. The thing that I forgot is my purse knitting. It is in my purse, which is
Not in this room.
not in this room. I am knitting out of White Birch Fiber Arts in the Purple Rain colorway, a pair of Afterthought heel socks. They are not much further than they were. That's not true. They're a little bit further than they were
Oh,
last
these
week.
are the Purple Rain ones.
Yeah, I haven't weighed them yet. I am the assistant girls basketball coach for my school now. So I have to do a bunch of training, like first aid training that's online. So I sit and watch videos about how to deal with seizures and other first aid stuff that I basically already know. So concussion protocol was one, like all this stuff. When in doubt, sit them out. Um,
Your
so
online trainings are much more interesting than mine.
I don't know about that. They are like the concussion one was super funny because it's got like these people and then it's got like word bubbles that come out from them and they do the voices differently, which was hilarious. But I did knit on those a little bit on Friday when I was trying to watch those and not get upset. So like get bored out of my mind more so than upset. But yeah, so that's a new fun thing that's going to be eating up some of my time too. I also get to do CPR training, which I've never been CPR trained before, so that'll be fun. And I was very worried because I thought I was going to have to get a bus driving certificate, but I don't because it's at principal's discretion. And
That's good because you should tell the principal that things like to fly at you on the freeway.
I would not be a good bus driver. Like people who drive buses have the utmost respect for me because A, you have to be able to parallel park that sucker in order to get the license.
Oh, really? No way would I ever get. I can't parallel park my Civic.
Yes. And then two, like if you do it as like a school bus driver for kids, that is a very difficult job and one that I think does not get enough positive attention.
Because you have to deal with all those little snots
You
while
have to
they're on the
deal
bus.
with kids, but not just usually one route. Usually you're running 3 or 4 routes
From different schools.
and twice a day. Yeah, and sometimes kids are not the best behaved on buses. Like 99% of the issues we have with kids happen on buses, so or at bus stops. So, and then you also have to deal with parents too, and they make very little money. So, and at least in my district. So anyway, that's a little rant about bus driving apparently. That's all I have for works in progress. So I do have the purple rain socks still in the needles. They're just they're the ribbing and I need to weigh them to make sure I have enough. I'm just gonna do like an inch of ribbing and then I might have to do the heels in a contrast, which is yet to be determined. Maybe a light blue. Maybe I'll go through my Volmise and see. Anyway, maybe leftover Volmise. We will figure it out.
Well, I have some FOs.
Yes, show us. You have like 2 sweater FOs, don't
I
you?
do. And I have some socks that were actually finished last week that I totally forgot to talk about.
Oh,
Which is unusual for me.
We had a lot
Usually I like have a parade when I finish something. So.
we had a lot going on last week.
So I'm going to start with the thing I'm least happy about and go up from there.
I think it's good to start on a negative note and then on a positive.
So, last week we talked about the Trick sweater, which is by Asa Tricosa.
Yeah.
And it's Trick, T-R-I-C is how you spell it. She's got her own unique way of starting at the back of the neck, and you do everything on one needle, and you're going in different directions, and there's all this weird stuff happening at the beginning, but then it works out.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I had some issues with it, but it was just...
So even if the FO itself did not work for you, at least you learned
I learned a new technique.
There you go.
I will not be knitting another sweater just because it has that technique, though. It would have to be something about the sweater
That you
design
like.
would have to appeal to me.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, some things don't have to be that complicated. Like, it's cool, it's nice to learn it, but I don't necessarily think that it's inherently better than any of
Because
the.
it's complicated, it's
Right,
not better. Okay. Sometimes simple is better. I
right.
get you.
So what we decided last week was that I was gonna essentially rip back the lace part of the sleeve I had done, and then make it a 3/4 inch plain sleeve, which is what I
Which
decided to do.
Yeah. Did you like the feel of the? So even if the rest of the sweater didn't work for you, did you enjoy the three-quarter length sleeves, or is that part of the thing?
I'm ambivalent. The
Okay.
sleeves weren't a tipping point either way.
Okay.
So I finished. Now I haven't woven it any end, so you'll see a bunch of yarn strings, but it's done. So I ripped back and finished the sleeves. I did a very simple I-cord bind off. Um, because I didn't want it to be too stretchy and gap there, because it was all because of the way that the sleeve is designed. It already tends to bell a little
So you
bit.
didn't do the ribbing like before you were
No,
talking about doing ribbing. Okay.
because I would have had to rip back further in order to put that detail in for
Uh
it to
huh.
be noticeable enough rather than just look like a mistake with that shorter length.
Uh huh.
So, and because the sleeve is designed large to bell out at the end, and I did not want to have to go back and pick up fewer stitches and decrease more and whatever,
Hmm.
I just had an I-cord bind off. That'll keep it from getting too stretchy at the sleeve so it wouldn't gap. And then I went back and did the edging that was written for the hem.
Uh huh. Which was.
It's just a simple, like, modified. This is the inside, not the outside. Good gracious.
I was like, I'm not certain what's happening there.
It's
I
like a
need you to
modified garter edging.
Okay, so
And
it
then at
looks
the
like it's like a
detail,
recipe.
it's like a ribbed bind off where you keep the pearls in pearl and the knits in knit.
Interesting. Uh-huh.
So altogether, I just don't like it finished. I just do not like the finished object. So
I do not like you, Sam. I am.
really, all right. So I'm gonna unplug. If you hear a little static, it'll only last a minute or two because I can't try this on if I'm plugged in. And also, I have pajamas on, so don't judge me.
I'm judging you right now.
It grew. So even though I
Oh.
was knitting the largest size, it ended up very, very large for me. So I've got these like bat wings here,
Mm.
and it's very big. Like I can
You
tuck each
could,
end.
yeah, like a 60-inch size person could
Yeah.
probably fit that in.
And there's nothing wrong with being a 60-inch size person, but
Okay.
it's just
No,
not the
but when
sweater
you're
I was going
not,
for. So that being said, there's nothing wrong with the sweater. So I'm just going to weave in the ends, take it with me to SSK next year, and it'll go home with somebody that it fits.
there you go.
Um, this was out of Highland Handmaids in the Butternut DK, which is a Polworth silk blend, and it was the teal colorway.
I wonder if the silk's what caused it to drape so much.
I don't know. And again, I swatched, but I didn't swatch it before and after, so I couldn't have told you how much it changed.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. I'm just going to stay unplugged until I'm done because I got to try on the other sweater. If there's feedback, I'm sorry. The other thing
Keep
was...
my talking to a minimum. How about that?
the other thing that I finished was I had knit the body of these socks already. I just hadn't put heels in. So I just made them for myself. I put
Good.
heels in using some Malabrigo leftovers that I had. These are fishnets after the rain, or after the storm colorway. And they are really tall.
Good.
Really tall. So they're finished. These were knit on a size 1, 2.25 millimeter. And there comes Neelix. Alright, last object is my custom fit sweater, which I'm very happy about.
Good.
It is superwash, so once I've finished weaving in the ends, because I still haven't finished weaving in ends, I'm going to throw it in the dryer so it'll shrink up just a little bit. But, so this is what it looks like. It's finished. It's got a very simple garter edge and a V-neck. Put it on. I've got loose ends everywhere.
I finished weaving in all my ends because of Stash Dash, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, since I'm only sort of participating in spirit, I didn't feel obligated. It's not like I can win a prize. Yes, baby, I see you.
Oh, that's super helpful, Neelix.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Thank you. Okay, go find Daddy.
I like it.
Yeah, so this fits much better. There's no bat wings. It's got a great,
Very cute.
nice fit. It's just a tiny bit loose, so, and I requested that it be a close fit. So I'll put it in the dryer to suck it up just a little bit after I weave in my ends. Oh my god, it's so hot. So it'll be nice and warm. This will be one of my Rhinebeck sweaters.
Awesome. Are you going to do another sweater for Rhinebeck?
Probably.
Cool.
All right, let me plug back in so that hopefully the feedback hasn't been too bad.
Have you decided what your next sweater is going to be?
No. I might actually make sugar maple.
Okay.
Because that's something that's light enough that if it's too hot for a sweater, I could actually still wear.
So sugar maple is more of a t-shirt style top, but it has a decrease and increase point, so it...
Yeah, it's got sort of an asymmetrical focal point.
Yep. So it kind of V's on one side.
I can't remember who designed it.
Cornelia... No.
Karina Spencer.
Karina Spencer, thank you.
Yeah, and I tried one on at SSK. I still don't remember whose it was. But,
you know.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it convinced me that I needed one. And I bought the yarn from Steve of Dramatic Knits. So, anyway.
Tash isn't anyone right
I know,
now.
she's almost done. Stinker. Probably will be done by the time this goes up. Anyway. Also,
looks really nice on her.
I found a new thing.
A new thing?
Yes. I don't drink beer, really. I've yet to find one that I like. I've tried a lot of different kinds, craft beers and big domestic, ones, whatever. And I haven't found one I liked. This is hard root beer because I'm such a pansy. It has to be flavored and pretty. So,
So you never answered me last night. Do you think it would make a good root beer float or
I think
no?
it would. It's got sort of it's got vanilla, licorice, and birch. It will bring you back to the boardwalk. And it asks, are you tall enough to ride? And it's Coney Island themed or whatever, but it's actually not bad. It tastes a little ale, like ale, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, you have a whole barrage of finished things.
I don't know about that. I have several small finished.
It's like a parade of little stocking feet.
Of little things. So the very first thing that I finished were my Inspiration Dye Work socks. So I put in heels on those, and they are for me, and they are ready to be worn. So those are the very first things that are finished. Second are my Outlander. So Inspiration Dye Works, I can't remember the colorway, but these, I don't think she's dyeing anymore. I do love those colors, though, together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my favorite color combinations. And these were knit on size 1 needles. They were just plain Afterthought heel socks. So just, all these were cut Afterthought heel socks. So I picked a point and cut, and then picked up stitches. So that's those. And then those were knit on size 1 needles. And then these were size 0s, I want to say. No, they might have been 1s. There were other 1s or 0s. I can't remember now. And these are Two Sisters Yarn Company, who dye amazing self-striping. They are kind of new to the scene, but I will be getting some of theirs in the future. They do lots of stripes. So this is 7 striper. Skinny stripes. Afterthought heels. These are the ones with short rows in them, because I wanted a little bit more room in my heels on this one. So they've got short rows. So Afterthought heels with a difference. And then Lollipop yarns. I'm not certain which colorway this is. These have been done for, like, the body of the socks have been done for probably close to a year.
I was going to say, I thought you were knitting on those last summer.
And yeah, I just had to put in the heels. So I put in the heels. and they are ready to be worn. So 3 new pairs of socks. Actually, altogether, this summer, I knit 5 pairs of socks. One went to Leslie, and then 4 pairs for me. And then I went through, because I teach Afterthought Heels class, I don't have another one scheduled for the future. So I went through and untagged all my samples. So I have like 7 new pairs of socks in my sock drawer. So that makes me super happy. I think all of those had size ones. The only one that might not is the Two Sisters. And then I decided to knit some baby hats. So I have an acquaintance who is having a little boy, and she and I were texting, and we were talking. We both have like major sweater mojo right now, and I was like, "You continue with your sweater mojo. I'll knit some hats." So, because she was having to stop to knit a little hat. So this is the first 2 hats are by Woolly Wormhead. They're out of her Wee Woolly Toppers book, which retails for around $17 US. It's a download. I have gotten, and you can find hard copies too. I've gotten so much use out of this book in the like 5 years it's been published. I've probably knit 30 to 40 baby hats out of it. So it's well worth the money for me. This one is a worsted weight one. It's on size, well, it was worsted weight for me. It's on size 7 needles, and it is called Tubi. It's one of my favorite ones to knit. It's just simple. You go up, and then it's got a 3 needle bind off at the top. So super simple and looks adorable on, like absolutely cute. The yarn is Claudia Hand Paints Worsted. When I knit baby hats, like this is the newborn size, which I knit loose anyways. I'm not like a gauge person with baby hats. So this will fit. It's wool, so it'll stretch. It'll fit for a while. Because also it can unslatch a little bit too. I use 12-inch circulars a lot with baby hats. So I cast on, the cord and the needle length is 12 inches. The tips of the needles are like 2.5 inches, which can be a little bit annoying, but I'd much rather knit them circularly that way than magic loop or use DPNs. I did use DPNs at the top. I used some new to me DPNs, which are the marbles, which are like a bright plastic. They're like a neon green plastic. I should have grabbed some. They are not my favorite. I think I'm going to stick with wood. I also used by Knitter's Pride some of their Cubics wood ones. I like those a lot better. I'm a wood person, I think, when it comes to DPNs for stuff like that. For smaller sizes, like the metals, because I bend the wood. But for this, I like wood, and those plastic ones are probably going to be the least ones I
I
get.
think there should be a drinking game about how many times Laura likes wood has been said in the last 60 seconds.
Well, there's that too. The other hat that I finished is also from that book. I've finished 3, but 2 are from that book. It is Duty. I know, it's so
Oh, that's
cool.
such a pretty hat for such a terrible name.
I know. It's like a little hipster hat, and you can do it. You can finish it 3 different ways. You can just do a top of a hat head.
A
It's a
regular
little
crown
bit
decreases.
yeah. It's a little bit silhouette, and then because I washed all this in unscented soak, or you can do like a little I-cord, or you can do like a giant bobble. And some people like Leslie have very
Strong opinions.
strong opinions about baubles, so I just decided this is old
Well,
hand
it's not
spun.
for me, so you can make whatever bobble you want.
No, but like other people have strong feelings about baubles too, so I decided just to do like the top of the hat normal until I get feelings.
Bobbles
for
are anti-partisan.
Something's anti-baubles. And then because Susan B. Anderson is wonderful, what was your hashtag?
Susan B. Anderson forever.
She's also got a very cute baby hats book. She's got several, but she's got one that's it's got the blue cover. It's on my iPad now. I have 2 copies of it because I'm that ridiculous.
Okay, the little bows on that are adorable.
Thank you. This is a bunny hat. It is the bunny tail hat by Susan B. Anderson. She has you do a pom-pom on the back. I did not do a pom-pom. But this is a larger size, obviously. than like.
So who is that for?
I don't know. For whoever, it might go to the same person.
Hmm.
It might not. I haven't decided yet. There's a weird, funky stitch right at the top, so that might keep me from sending it to another knitter. But I think it's cute. It is. This was one of those crazy colorways I got. So I did a Webs like grab bag for
Mm-hmm.
Tosh, and I accidentally got Tosh Merino, which is a single ply merino, which wasn't my intent. I meant to get the DK that's plied. But and this is a like but I got so many cool colorways that I would never have picked up. Like I would have never picked this colorway up.
But it's perfect for a baby hat.
But it's so perfect for this. Like this is the perfect yarn for this pattern. It's sea salt.
Hmm.
Um so I like it. Like I like the ears with the bows. They look kind of wonky without the bows. They need bows, whether it's a
They
boy or a
they
girl.
detract from the wonkiness.
They squish it together. If you don't have it, it's just like a straight tube up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they squish it together. I really like this hat. It's just a little bit fiddly to knit because you're so you knit a regular hat basically, and then you're knitting this part up,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're knitting this one up. So I tend to get a gap right here in the middle that I have to seam closed. That's just I don't know why that bothers me, but it bothers me a little bit. So I just with a single ply, I feel like it's more noticeable than if it was a plied yarn. Because a single ply, there's nothing to distract from a wonky stitch.
I think you're just overly critical of yourself.
That could be an option as well. But anyway, so that is the Bunny Tail Hat by Susan B. Anderson. What is the name of that book? It's going to drive me crazy. Jessica's yelling at the screen right now. I can picture it. It's blue.
I'll look it up while you talk about your spinning.
Okay. Well, there's not much to talk about. I have nothing to show. I meant to grab my bobbin, but I forgot. I am working on spinning the Honky Tonk colorway from Three Waters Farm. It is fabulous. I'm doing it fractally, so I took the entire braid and then went to the middle and then split it in half. And then one of those halves I split into 5 smaller strips, and the other one is just one that I'm spinning off of. So this one that's just like the bigger one will have longer color repeats because the chunks of color when you narrow them out will be longer. And this one over here that's like the smaller chunks, the 5 smaller chunks will have short repeats. So it's being fractally spun. And what I'm going to make out of that, I believe, is the Wild Goose Shawlette, which is the new pattern by Paula Emmons Feasley of Knitting Pipeline, who's also known as Prairie Piper on Ravelry. She's got awesome. She designs great shawls.
Itty bitty hats.
There you go. I knew it was something like wee, and I was like, well, it's not wee willy toppers because that's the other one. So wee and itty bitty. It's a theme. But
I couldn't find it because she has so many published books that it wasn't on the first page.
That was, I think, her first published book. She has a new published book, a new book coming out that is about knitting with kids, which I'm super excited. That might be what the nieces get for Christmas.
She has 38 books and magazines that she's been in or published herself.
That's amazing. It's because Susan B. Anderson's the bomb. So the Duty and the bunny hat were knit on size 7s, and no, 2B and the bunny hat were knit on size 7s. Duty was knit with like a sport weight on size 4.
All right, this episode is going to be called Duty, I think.
It's Doodie, just so you know.
Just so I know. Got it.
But anyway, we have so that's my spinning, and I'm hoping to get it done because I have some spinning for a prize winner at SSK that I need to do next, which I'm excited about. It's some Fat Cat knits that's been in my stash entirely too long. We have a question from Wombat Knitter. She says, when I was majorly into quilting, I could walk into a fabric store and know approximately how much yardage I wanted of a fabric based on experience. But for yarn, not so much. How do you determine how much you purchase when you see a yarn that you must have, but you don't have a particular pattern in mind? Say it might make a sweater at some point or something that could be used for either socks or a shawl. Just some general guidelines. Thanks. There's an app for that. There's two apps for
First, I would say I'm in the complete opposite position because I can go into a yarn shop and based on what I like, I can sort of say, okay, well, I need about this much if I want to make a pair of socks or about this much if I want to make a shawl. Whereas I go into a quilting store and it's just overload. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just want all the things. But yes, like Laura mentioned, there is an app for that.
There's a
StashBot.
Stashbot,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very cool app. So you pick out, you can move it,
And this
and
is
you
for
can say,
sweaters.
well, it's vest, shrug, cropped sweater, average length sweater, long sweater slash tunic, hat, mittens, scarf, socks. So, like for the socks one, so I scrolled it over to socks, and then I pick a size. So I want an adult size, which is around 10 inches. And then you pick the stitches per inch, like the gauge. So if it is fingering weight, I know that's around 8 stitches per inch.
And if you don't, you can look on the label and it'll
Yep.
usually tell you recommended gauge is 8 stitches per inch or whatever.
And then it tells me I should have at least 380 yards.
Yeah.
So that's, and like if it was XL adult, like a guy's sock, 520 yards. So I love this app in that I can play with like circumference, but also stitches per inch, and I feel like it's pretty accurate. Amy Herzog had an app too called Knitter's Toolbox. Mine is crashing for some reason today, just probably because my phone is forever old. And the new iPhone is being released in September, so I'm not going to get a new one now. I'm going to wait.
I also cheat a lot by I use my queue because people use their queue and their favorites in lots of different ways, right? One thing that you definitely learn in the IT world is it doesn't matter what you design something for. How people use it is what they're going to want, how they want it modified, right?
Yeah.
So I almost never use my favorites unless it's to favorite a specific project of something I have in the queue.
Yes.
The
or a post. I use favorites.
Yeah, I do posts if it's like really inappropriate and funny. I'll favorite it.
If I need to go back to it, like my owl
Yeah.
proposal posts, or actually for this question thread, the ones that we haven't answered are in my favorites.
Oh, that's good.
So that's an easy way for me to find what one we need to answer next.
Well, the way that I use my favorites is things I actually intend to knit. So, and every 6 months or so, I'll cull it. I'll go through and think,
Your
God,
favorites or your queue?
my queue. I'm sorry if I said favorites. I meant my queue. Sometimes I don't know what I was thinking when I queued some things. Sometimes I think Laura must know my password and goes in there and just adds random crap to my queue.
That would be hilarious if I did.
But, anyway.
I did do that once.
Yeah, I found some stuff in mine.
Password.
And I was like, so what I'll do is
saved on a computer.
if I'm in a store and I find some beautiful, Madeline Tosh, and I say, oh, I'd really love to make, a heavy shawl out of that. I'll go into my queue and I'll use the advanced pattern search and I'll say, okay, this is a sport weight. So I'll click sport weight and I'll look at my sport weight queued shawls and sort of get an estimate of if it's as big as the Mara shawl, then I'll need at least 800 yards. Or if it's as small as, a Yowza shawl, then maybe I won't need quite as many. So I just sort of get an estimate, a rough estimate, and go from there based on the projects that I already have queued.
That's a good way of doing it. I tend to look up specific projects, specific patterns to use that yarn with.
I'm really bad about that. Like, I have a really hard time committing to a project. So the minute that I decide I'm buying this for this project, it'll never get knit.
See, and I'm getting to the point with my stash as I look around that I'm starting to only buy yarns that are not sock yarns, but like yarns that are a heavier weight, that are not self-striping sock yarns for a purpose. Because I have enough sock weight yarn especially, but it's hard to resist that call of that one
single beautiful skein of something. Yeah,
it is. But now I'm getting to the point where I tend to pick up two because I really like some of the 800 yard shawls.
Mm-hmm.
Although there's a lot of 2-color, 3-color 800 or more yard shawls that you can pick up, one here and one there too. Yes, I am on that side. Um,
So hopefully
so
that answered your question, Wombat Knitter.
a
Um,
little bit. And some yarn stores have actual computers located in their shop, which is super
yes.
useful for
If
customers.
you work at a yarn shop or you are a yarn shop owner, and if I have the choice to come to your store or another store that are equal distances and have relatively same style of yarn, if you have a computer available for me or Wi-Fi access available for me, I'm going to come to your store because I'm so much more likely to buy things when I can browse and get sold on a pattern to match the yarn to. So
Right.
shell out the money and get a computer set up or at least get Wi-Fi set up so people can, you're just making it easier for people to buy your yarn.
Yep, I agree. I think you make up that cost pretty easily. So that is the answer to that. You've been reading a little bit more than me. I've not been reading much
Yeah.
at all.
I and I don't put every book I read on here because a lot of, well, not a lot of them, but some of them are just fluff stuff that I don't want people to know that I read. But I read the third in the Others series, Vision in Silver.
Fourth, that just was announced that's
Yes,
coming out
I went to
the
the end and it said, "Hey, do you want to pre-order this book that doesn't come out until March?" Yes, click.
end.
So, and the Others is a paranormal series
It's
where
horror. It's
it
horror.
is, well, but it's paranormal because there's werewolves and, well, they're called shifters, and there's wolves, and there's crow shifters, and there's terra indigene, which are like the ocean is its own.
Personality.
Yes, and each one of the major lakes has its own personality, and like the land itself has its personality.
And weather has a personality.
Yes,
This is
and
a bad
humans
pivot.
are meat.
Yes,
This
they are
isn't like
me.
a all these mythical
We're gonna get
creatures are
together.
hiding,
Yeah.
in plain sight. This is a we will eat you if we don't like you kind of story, and it's very, but it's
True.
not over the top, but it's very interesting. So I liked it. I ordered the fourth one. Doesn't come out until next year, and
I
then
am Bishop.
yes, Anne Bishop. Um, have you read her other series? Because I might start reading her older series.
Her other series is more pure fantasy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not as interesting to me. I reread Fortune's Rising by Sarah King. I've reread almost every Sarah King book, and I didn't discover her until February, and I love her lots and lots. So
Good.
if you like science, they're more science fiction than paranormal usually, but they're good.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so that's what I've been reading.
I reread a steampunk book called Heart of Brass by Kate Cross. It's kind of steampunky, kind of like spy-ish. There are four, I think, in the series. I've read them all, but I was in the mood, so I needed something when I got off work that was not,
It just lets you turn your brain off.
yeah, that was pure escapism. So I need to start reading. There'll be a lot more YA coming in this week. So, like, not actually arriving, but I need to get back into my YA reading habits and older children's fiction. So that'll start happening again. It's just been a week. So, and then Stash Dash was finishing up. So, I wanted to make sure I got my 10K in for Stash Dash. So that was eliminated a lot of things like reading. But on the side note, like, because I was knitting heels of socks for hours at ends, I got through the whole fourth, third, and fourth season of Murdoch Mysteries. So I just started season 5 of 8.
Fly
And
just
now
flew in my ears.
I was wondering what you were doing.
What the hell?
What is that movie where like the cockroach crawls in her ear?
Oh, it's got Claire Danes. She's a
Yes,
smuggler. Well,
yes,
she
a
get
drug smuggler. Yeah,
tricked
whatever.
into smuggling. I can't remember.
She's a
Somebody will remember though.
something palace.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I don't know, but now anytime like that's like a thing for me. Anyway.
Just to be clear, that was a housefly, not a roach.
um, anyway, Stash Dash, I hit 10K.
Yay!
Skin of my teeth. I hit 10,100 and some yards. So that was another post.
Now, was that yards or meters?
Meters. Which would be a lot more in yards. But yeah, that was the meters. I converted everything. So thank you all for participating. There's a lot of inspiring projects I need to go through, and maybe we should share some. Maybe we should each pick one to share, like
Yeah,
a week.
our top three or something. Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
that's my plan
Um,
to go through this week, all the threads, and like add a bunch of stuff to my queue.
yes, and as you're doing that, you should start a spreadsheet of people who have finished so we can draw
Oh, goody,
presents.
could I?
Could you? That would be superb if you would. If you do 3K, I'll do 10K. Then we can split 5. 3K, I think, has the most posts.
Well, probably because it was the easiest one to get to.
So I was just thinking that maybe we should add a 15K next year.
Oh God.
Yes, there were people who got to 10K within like the first month.
Let's just do like an overachievers. Anything over 10K goes in this bucket.
Well, like I got over 10K. Like I feel like
Congratulations, you can go
I
in the
know.
bucket then.
But like, oh, so the person who absolutely won. Now I have to look up her name. There is a woman who not only got 10K but had a baby during
Wow.
Dash. I have to find her. She's amazing. I'm sending her a special prize.
That's pretty impressive.
Just because if you get 10K and have a baby, you win Stash Dash. Like,
Sorry, Jasmine, you don't win. You didn't have your baby yet.
she didn't hit 10K either. She did hit like 5 or something.
Yeah.
She good.
I think I hit 7,300 meters, so I in between the 5 and 10K.
If you produced a baby, like had a baby, I don't know what the word that I'm looking for is.
Birthed.
Brewing. And you
Bore.
okay. Digital Dinah is her name. So she got 10K and had a baby. So she got 10,245 meters.
Wow.
And Miss Eleanor was born at the beginning of July. It's not even like she was born
Wow.
like yesterday. She was born at the beginning of July and she was premature. So, like, that's
very impressive.
amazing. Like, she gets a special prize. I'm going to go through my stuff and find something for her. But, yeah, like, that is insanely amazing.
Hey, you know what the end of Stash Dash means? 3 less sticky threads. Yay!
Stickied. It just kept rising to the top.
Let's see.
No, none of them were stickied.
Well, they were always up there, eating up the space.
Whatever. I cleaned up the SSK board too this week. FYI.
Okay, speaking of SSK, we opened up vendor applications
We did.
on the 14th, and they will stay open until the 28th. If you're curious about any of the dates as far as when we're going to start accepting lottery entries and when we're going to announce vendors and all that sort of stuff, if you go to the SSK group on Ravelry, on the main group page, I put those dates.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Look at you. You're so smart.
So SSK is Super Summer Knit Together. It is an event that Laura and I host in Nashville, Tennessee in July. Next year's dates are July the 20th through the 24th.
There's also an announcement thread that I created and stickied and locked so that we could just, anytime we have something that has to be shared, it doesn't get lost in chatter.
Okay.
So I put the dates in there as well.
Okay.
We're on the same page, dude.
Yes.
Without talking. That never happens.
Well, I figured it's better to do this than have a bunch of people ask us individually.
Yeah.
This way everybody gets the same information. I think that's really all for SSK this week.
For right now, our
teacher contracts are out.
Contracts, yeah.
We're waiting to get
One
those
has
back.
been returned, right?
No.
Okay.
One has confirmed, but I don't have the piece of paper.
Yeah. So we'll wait till we get those.
We don't ever announce them until we have the contracts. I finished a thing.
Yeah, I want to see it.
So our friend Lynn, who works at Loopy U, somebody at the Loopy U loves her enough and has made her 2 of these bags. I don't know what she did to earn that love, because let me tell you, these bags are a gigantic pain in the butt. But anyway, I first saw this bag at QuiltCon in February, but it was the pattern had been out before that. And there's 2 versions of it. It's Sew Together bag, SEW Together bag, or there's another one called the Bionic Gear bag. They're made differently, like they're put together differently, so they're different bags. So this is what it looks like.
That's the Bionic bag.
This is the Bionic Gear bag. You can get it on Craftsy. The pattern is $13. It's got step-by-step directions with pictures as well as video. So to me, it's the better option because you've got somebody walking you through what you need to do. That being said, still a giant pain in the butt. This is primarily made for sewing notions. So it's got this
You
sort of
could
gusseted area.
totally use it
Oh,
for
yeah.
knitting.
Yeah. So it's got one big zipper.
Oh, the handle's a zipper.
Yeah.
How clever.
And then it's sort of, I don't know how well I can do this while.
Kind of accordions, right?
Yeah, it accordions out. So you've got 5 little pouches to put different tools in.
Do they all zip separately too?
Yes, all
They
these
do.
have separate zippers. So you've got 4 zippered sections inside, 5 pouches inside. I used a fat quarter bundle, so the color's already sort of coordinated, because I hate choosing things like that. And then this front part here, I'm going to unzip this all the way. Sort of, when you open it and put it like on a table, it sits flat. So this section sits flat, and it's got sort of a lip here.
Uh-huh.
And you can put like your wonder clips or little tools and stuff in here, and then
Yeah.
when you're ready to go, you just close it and zip it and nothing moves. So
smart.
I went from having never put a zipper in a bag to deciding I needed to do 5 in one, because I'm not always totally all there.
I think that's very cool.
I did a lot of ripping out. What do you call that?
The seam ripper?
Seam ripper, yeah. Especially on this part where you got the accordion pleats. You have to sew over the same area, putting different pieces together 4 times.
Oh.
So you have to keep getting progressively further away from the edge. Like, and she tells you that. She explains how to do it. It's not like it's written badly, but having to muscle this through, once you got that many layers in it, was a little bit of a challenge. But I did finish it at 11:30 last night.
Are you going to do 5 more? Because I think you should make 5 more.
According to Instagram, I should make it for everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You put it on Instagram?
I did. And people are like, ooh, that's pretty. You should make me one. No. I probably will make a couple more as gifts for people that sew a lot and travel, because it makes sense for that. I don't know how useful it'll be as a knitting bag, so we'll have to see. I'll play with it and see. It is rather large to be like a notions bag, though, so
I don't need one. Not that you were offering.
Perhaps Mama Linneman, because she travels and sews a lot, but I don't know.
Yeah. She would be that would be a good Christmas present for her. She would appreciate that.
But that's about it. What else? We talked about Stash
we have
Dash.
the Three Waters Farms knit along, spin along going on till the end of this month. I'm hoping to get my stuff done, at least the spinning part. Do you have any plans for your knitting section of yours?
Not yet, and I'm not really motivated to knit any handspun right now, so I doubt it'll happen before the end of the month.
See, I'm super after knitting that little baby hat out of handspun. I'm like, man, I should knit with my handspun more.
It's really cute, really pretty hat.
You should knit with your handspun. It's super fun.
I have knit a handspun sweater, so
that is true. I've not done that because I did not like what I spun from my handspun sweater, so it's getting recycled into other things. But yeah, I think that's about it. So we will lock that thread on the 31st. Look, all your stickies will be gone soon.
Yay! I just don't like a ton of them, and I don't mind some. Recording schedule over the next couple of months, there will be some bumps. Next week, I'm not sure if I'll be able to record Sunday or if I'll have to do it Monday. We have some friends coming into town, and I'm not certain what time they leave on Sunday. So we may record on Monday instead.
That's fun.
What else?
You're going out of town for work for like 10 days.
Yes. The 24th of September, which is a Thursday, starting then and not coming back until the 4th of October, so 10 days, I'll be out of town in North Carolina. I don't know what scheduling is going to be like yet. I'll know once we get closer to the event. So we may record once while I'm out of town. We may not. We'll just have to wait and see. What else?
We have some upcoming events coming up. So we will have Spinzilla. Our team signups open in September. I'm trying to remember the actual date. Hold on. So, questions asked here on the Spinzilla thread.
It's in the main group
So
details.
spinner signups start on September 1st and go until October 2nd. The actual spinning,
Is October the 5th.
yes, and we only do 25 people per team, I guess. We don't pick the teams.
You register and you pick a team at the time of registration.
Yes. So you can pick whatever team you want. Some people can pad their teams. So what you can do is you can purchase all the slots
Mm-hmm.
and then divvy them out as you want. We don't want to do that. We're not cheaters. So that's a horrible way of saying that. But we want it to fill with whoever
Right.
wants to participate. That being said, if you sign up and you don't participate,
Laura's going to be knocking on your door.
we're gonna be very irritated with
We've
you.
been beaten by Fancy Tiger 2 years in a row. This is lucky number 3. Third time's a charm. We're coming for you, Fancy Tiger.
It does cost $10 to participate. 100% of that $10 goes back to support the Needle Arts Mentoring Foundation. So it's a good cause. You can also spin Rogue if you don't want to be part of a team, and there's separate Rogue prizes that occur. So that's one thing coming up. So sign up starts September 1st. The actual events in October. When's Rhinebeck? You'll be at Rhinebeck.
Rhinebeck, let's see, let me look on my calendar. I'll be at Rhinebeck. It is the 17th and 18th of October. I'll drive up on that Friday and I'll come back on that Monday. So Laura and I will record that Monday night probably.
And then I registered for a class at SAF. SAF is
Halloween weekend, so it's a
Halloween
week and a
weekend
half after Rhinebeck.
Asheville, North Carolina. It is an event I've never been before.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is it's kind of similar to like Maryland Sheep and Wool. Looking at the vendor list, it's a little bit smaller, but they've moved it this year. So this is the first year it'll be in this new building.
I've heard really great things about it.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things, which is why I'm going. Also, my parents moved 2 hours away, so I'm going to take either Friday off or Monday off. I'm leaning towards Friday right now, so driving down Friday or Thursday night. It's a 6.5 hour drive for me, but I lose an hour.
Yeah.
So if I get off work at 3:30, then I can get in by 10, which is really 11 East Coast time. Then wake up the next morning, have Friday to spend with Mama Linneman, and then we will go to SAF on Saturday. I think we'll just do one day because it is 2 hours each way. And I'm taking a class with Franklin Habit on photography on Saturday. Some other people told me they're taking it, like SSKers. So
oh, that's cool.
Excited. Yes. So,
you know what's funny is that I've been talking to Patrina, who was at SSK, and she's in New York City, and so is Jackie Mason. I didn't realize that. We met her at Maryland.
Yeah.
And I'm making some tentative plans to go up to New York City in November because it's only a couple hours away for me.
You could ride the train right up.
Ooh, I could. That would be great. And to hang out with them for a little while. And they're going to take me to all of the cool New York shops, is what I'm told. So
that's awesome. And I think that's it for us.
God, I hope so.
Tentatively, I am planning on being at Maryland Sheep and Wool for sure, but that might be it. Well, I'll probably either do Stitches South or DFW. They're the same weekend, I think, which is right after my birthday, so that'll be a birthday treat for me. And that'll be my 2 days off for the year, so I'll use one there and one there. So I was hoping to go to Carolina.
Fiber Frolic?
Well, the Fiber Frolic that's in the spring. There's one in the fall, too. I was really hoping to make it to the spring one, but it ends on the day, like the Sunday that it ends is the last day of my spring break, so I would really have to hustle and flow to get. We're not allowed to take the day after a holiday off.
Yeah, it's the same way for general employees.
I don't know. I'd really have to. It's like a 9-hour drive for me, roundabout, so I'd really have to, probably more than that. I'd really probably have to fly it. I need to look and see. But I think that's it for. Besides, I might end up at Fiber in the Borough still, because that's pretty local to me. That's 3 hours each way. So we'll see. Oh, and this Friday I'm going down to the Oxford Yarn Shop. I am going to a speech given by Melissa Leitman.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's $15 to get in. she's also teaching some classes on Saturday and Sunday, I believe, but I'm just going for her. Really, Eloise texted me and was like, "Do you want to go? We're driving.
I
All
was
you
going to
have to
say,
do is
Laura's like, that's free knitting time,
$15 get
essentially.
in." Like, okay. So that's the plans for Friday. I am going to be out of pocket tomorrow. I have not only work but open house tomorrow night for 4 hours. So, if people are looking for me tomorrow in Ravelry, I will not be there. So just shoot me an email at Laura at TheKnitGirlls if you need me for anything super essential. Um, that's about it for me this week. It's gonna be a fun week. I'm excited. I
um,
like open house. I think it's fun meeting all the parents and
I have
stuff.
to go to an open house for Kobe, but it's like 9 a.m. to 11:30. It's
Oh,
before
they did a
school
half.
starts.
Yeah, they're doing a half day for school.
So, well, no, this is like
Oh,
just so that the kids can see where the school is, can understand where the cafeteria is and the
see, we did
classroom,
that,
and
but it was that we call that orientation. And then
yeah,
once
it's
their schedules and they're like set in stone, then we did like they've been doing it for a week and a half. Because sometimes they're like, I want to play football. No, I don't want to play football. Maybe I want to be in art. If that
yeah,
first week. So then we do open house after they're set in stone.
yeah. We're Kobe is he likes to understand the structure of how things work. He
Yes.
behaves a lot better that way.
Yep.
So we're gonna go and meet the teachers and all that stuff.
Oh,
So,
that's great. I think that's a fabulous idea.
so
I'll enjoy.
anyway, I have to get up super early to do something for Cherokee, North Carolina Casino. So
That's fun.
yeah, so I'm gonna let y'all go. You have a good weekend and week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.